How's it going, YWC? Liberal Hill Impact Wrestling Review. My thoughts overall on Impact. Pretty decent show, and we got some things like I don't know, build up for a pay-per-view. What a novel concept! They're trying to sell this pay-per-view, and they're trying to put some big marquee matches there. One match, like I said before, there's one match on here that the IWC I know they hate. It's the Madison Rayne, Su Yung thing, and I can see both sides. Madison Rayne, she's had her time in the spotlight. Is she a draw? Is she not a draw? And that's the women's championship. On the other hand, Madison Rayne, really decent wrestler in the ring. Cat over here acting like P Diddy all up in the video, kinda, not really. But then, also it's a feather in the cap for Su Yung if she goes over, being a 5-time Knockouts champion, a pay-per-view victory. It's two sides to every story. So, anyway, Impact starts off, speaking of which, with Madison Rayne. And Madison comes out. Madison Rayne in face promos is not good all the time. She kind of regurgitates the same story she's been saying for like 2 weeks now. I didn't come out here to be, a wrestler. I wanted to just tell the story, but I got pulled back in. They keep pulling me back in. It says that Su Yung is not going to be getting the mother Madison Rayne. She's getting the five-time Knockouts champion, which it's hard to believe because the 5-time Knockouts champion Madison Rayne was the Queen Bee, and now we're getting, I don't even know what her theme is. Her theme is just, it's not as good as Killer Queen. Like, let's be honest. So that brings out Tessa Blanchard. And look, I gotta say this. I have to say that I've been like avoiding this for like a while now. And granted, look at my face. I'm no like handsome man. But still, this has to be said. Tessa Blanchard is a butterface. She has a banging body, everything. But the face is fucking crimson chin. Like that chin, that jawline is fucking massive. Would I still hit it? Fuck yes. But I just had to say that shit because, like, when she gets on screen and she does a little butt shake, I'm like, okay. Then she does the twirl around. It's like, wow, that's a fucking huge chin. But she's still hot, but it's a fucking huge chin. Like, don't hate me, IWC. Do not hate me for that. But anyway, Tessa comes out and says that she's the best, and it kind of like loses win because like she lost to Madison, and hopefully gladly Madison Rayne brings up the point. You're the best, but I beat you. Like what are you talking about, bro? Su Young's music hits, and that distracts Madison because Tessa Blanchard knocks out Madison. She's knocked out in the ring. Like, God damn, that bitch left my jaw. And it's set up for the main event, Tessa versus Madison in this show. So, moving on past that. Let's see right here. All right, Madison. Oh, you get the debut of Rick Swann. And Rick Swann, I don't know what kind of haircut you have. I don't know what you're doing, but stop it. Get some help, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck's on top of your head. I don't know if you're going bald and you got I don't know what the fuck that is, but it needs to stop now. So Rich Swann defeats Trevor Lee, and that's bittersweet because Trevor Lee, they really should be doing more with this guy. Like, he has personality. He can be funny. It seems like they're not using him to his full potential. He's a small guy that could be working the heavyweights. He could be the tag team with Caleb Conley. He could be leading a stable. The Cult of Lee is right there in the name, where they all dress like Trevor Lee. I don't know, but match was pretty good. You know, if you've seen a Rich Swann match, you've seen them all. And I guess this also needs to be addressed. The crowd was over with Rich Swann. I don't know, you know, how people still feel about the alleged charges he had with Su Yung and the whole domestic violence. I think he was found to be innocent or whatever, but the crowd, they came for the wrestling and the entertainment, and Rich Swann provided that. And I know that it's going to get this right here also. Rich Swann, WWE reject, TNA picked him up. Look, Rich Swann, he was going to get working either way. Like in the Indies, Ring of Honor, somewhere. Somebody's going to pick this guy up, and you can't be mad at TNA for picking him back up. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to the WWE, you know, after a while. So I would say this, like, they're independent wrestling talent. They got to go where the work is. And right now, Impact is where the work is. And hell, with wrestling how it is now, he could work at Impact, work at Ring of Honor. You know, it's independent contracting. Anyway, what else about Rich Swann? I think really the only thing they really need to do with Rich Swann is, I guess, let his personality show a little bit more. That's one thing that in the cruiserweight division in WWE they really didn't do. This guy, he has cares. He's charismatic. He has the facial expression and everything like that. They just need to take the reins off. I think that's pretty much it. Can I think, yeah. Let me see. Oh, I might well say this. I kind of respect Rich Swann. Like a guy that was homeless, his parents died at a young age, and he's living his dream of becoming a professional wrestler, and he still got a hot Asian wife. Like, if that isn't a success story, I don't know what is. Like, from homeless, having no parents, to professional wrestler, hot Asian wife. It does not get any better than that. Well, it could be a lot better if he had a stupid ass haircut on his head. Like a dread skullet. Like, really, bro? Like, okay, that's my dog outside taking shit, I guess. Okay, one second, guys. Let me see. Hey! Hey! Oh, shit. Hey! Hey! Goddamn. He'll be fine. He's a dog. He can survive. Kinda. Not. He'll come again. Anyway. So where were we? Oh yeah. Yes. They cut to where Sami Callihan attacks Pentagón Jr. at PCW in California, and he attacks him with the bat, attacks the referee. They're in the steel cage, and in comes OVE. They, also beat up Pentagón, and Sami Callihan exposes the face of Pentagón Jr., which leads to a series of things set in motion. One, Don Callis inadvertently talking about Sami Callihan's hair. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he talking about his hair? Oh, Pentagón Jr., what's your statement? I want to face you at Slammiversary for my mask, for your hair. Sami Callihan, your response. Hey, I don't give a fuck. Let's do this. This hair's been with me for a while, but I want to expose you for the fraud you are. You're a good wrestler, but you're now like undead zombie person. You're just a good wrestler in the man. That's pretty much the message. So I'm gonna give you some initial thoughts on this. Pentagón, Sami Callihan, Slammiversary, hair versus mask. This is interesting because, for one, okay, let's just talk about the pros and cons of each man losing. Con, Sami Callihan, if he loses, it really does nothing like for him. Like either way, like okay, he's gonna be Sami Callihan with a bald head. Okay. Pro, if he exposes the face of Pentagón Jr., you you got to catapult this man to the main event scene. Like, he's got a major league coverage from TMZ. He's proved himself to be one of, if not the best villain in all of professional wrestling today. For Pentagón, Khan, and pros, Khan, if he loses his mask, that's pretty much like he'll pretty much have to find like a new gimmick or something like that, because can't come out with the. I mean, he can still come out with the like paint and the skull, but that mask though, like you just you can tell, you'll be able to see him clearly and everything like that, so he can't hide behind the mask. Pro, it could be something new and refreshing, and anytime a wrestler has to give up his mask is completely shocking, because you would not see that coming. Like, especially with the role they've been giving Pentagón with winning championships and kind of having a high place in the company, even though he's not like I think he's signed but not really signed. So like independent contracting. He works there, but he also works at Lucha and other places. Seeing him lose that mask, that's a whole new level of possibilities, and it will refresh his character for the American audience and the Mexican audience. So I'm just gonna put the bid in now, man. I would rather see Sami Callihan win just for that shocking moment of Pentagón's face, and where will he go from there? Like, how he reinvents himself. We still have the same mystique. So yeah. Anyway, moving on past that, you get a rewind clip. Don't care. Oh, then you get this funny part. Grado's backstage and he's just chilling, and Katrina walks up behind him and she's like, "Guess who?" And he's like, Wildcat Chris Harris." And then she's like, "What?" And she says, "Look, next week I'm gonna have a match." And he's like, "What? You're one of the boys? You're not a mark?" And she says, I wrestle. I used to wrestle here like a couple of years ago." What? That was you? And she's like, "Yeah, whatever, seasons." He makes the winter joke. I kind of like this in the sense that they're not where I'm looking for, insulting our intelligence. We know that used to be winter, so she's basically saying, "Look, that used to be one of my like nicknames, but that was a long time ago. I'm not that person anymore." Or is she? Is she still like winter? Who knows? Is she like manipulating Grado before our very eyes? I don't know. Let's see the storyline play out. So I enjoy this segment. Don't whatever. So next you get the debut of the Desi Hit Squad versus Andrew Everett and DZ, and the Desi Hit Squad, with the help of Gamma Zing, defeat Z and E. And let me say this about the match. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was nothing spectacular, but I saw it for what it was. It was a Desi Hit Squad trying to get on the right page. They made a lot of mistakes because it was their first time teaming together. Z and E, they brought out new moves into their arsenal, so they're kind of gelling. I'm a big fan of Roji Rod. The other guy, not so much. Like, he's gonna have to roll me. This is his first match, nothing really impressive. And I just hope with the Desi Hit Squad they don't go down the traditional route of, oh, they're Indian, so they hate America. Then they're gonna start da 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 da. Look, the guy who's not Roji Rod, he said, "Look, I was born in Australia. I'm Canadian trained, and I got my Indian principles." Okay, can we build on that? Because Roji Rod, he's Canadian trained, blah blah blah. Can we not do the traditional? Oh, we're Indian people, blah blah blah, following traditional stuff. Let's be real about this and who these guys are, because they're good athletes. Just don't overkill it with, oh, we were born in India too. We're Indian. We're traditional Indians. Like, no, don't do that. Like, okay. So moving on, you get an interview about Moose, and Moose talks about, hey, look, I was a football player. I grew up and everything like that, and it was something I did for basically for money. He didn't say it, but that's basically say I did it for money. But it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I wanted to do with my life as a kid. I wanted to be a professional wrestler, but that paid the bills, and that's how I made money. So he said when he got out of the NFL, he tried to pursue his goal, his dream of becoming a professional wrestler, and his ex-wife looked at him like, "You're leaving money on the table to pursue a dream. You got to keep making them like." Granted, this may be construed for him because he was saying it or whatever, but he basically said, "Look, my wife left me because I went to pursue my dream, and she wanted to keep living the NFL wife lifestyle. She wanted to keep spending my millions while while I went to the bingo halls and rebuilt myself to be a main level competitor." And that's pretty much it. So moving on past that, oh yeah, you get Eddie Edwards attacking Tommy Dreamer at House of Hardcore, and Eddie Edwards, wow, was that emotion on his face and expression? Is that it? Eddie Edwards having a character building moment here? Wow, Eddie, you've come a long way, my friend, and it's damn well deserved. You have a character, you have facial expressions, you're in a decent storyline that evolved out of a great storyline. Oh, it's a great time to be Eddie Edwards and Eddie Edwards and a Eddie Edwards fan. So we're going to that's anniversary, probably a hardcore match between Dreamer and Eddie Edwards. Impact, don't do it. Do not have Tommy Dreamer win this match. Like, please don't do that. Please, just don't. Anyway, next you have, oh, yeah, you have the clubhouse of LAX. And, they're in there with King, LAX, and they're like, "Hey, we got cigars, but where's Conan's cigar?" Conan comes in, he daps up LAX, but he doesn't dap up. he doesn't dap up King. Like, oh, yep, yep. Yeah.
I ain't got no teeth. All you want. You know. God bless you. I'm living on what I can eat now. Thank you so much, man.
All right.
God, you may have got many good.
I get it. All right. All right. That was my neighbor, bar and milk. Anyway, so Conan comes in and he's like, he like King tries to dap him. He's like, "Get your hand out my face, dog. What's that for?" And he's like, "Look, I'm gonna expose you, bro. And I'm gonna do something to you." And King, he goes like, "Look, man, you gonna keep threatening me with all the nonsense. You wanna do something, let's do it," and all that. And he walks off, and Conan's like, "LAS, I got proof, but I can't tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you later." Okay. Nice words, Conan. Then you have Matt Sydal beating Xavier Woods. Xavier, not Xavier Woods, Xavier, Desmond Xavier. That's it. I like this. Like, I'm a big Matt Sydal fan. I was a Matt Sydal fan back in the day. I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon of Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal, I like what he's doing here. He's a high flyer, but he's pretty much taking the AJ Styles route. AJ Styles used to be a tremendous high flyer back in the day. But through time and, wanted to preserve his body, he became a great mat wrestler. Not saying that Matt Sydal is on the same level as AJ Styles, but basically in the same vein. He's added a lot of ground-based maneuvers with his yoga training, and it's very impressive. He's very well rounded, I would say now. So what he does, uh, Desmond Xavier tries to go to the top rope for something. Matt Sydal pushes the referee into the ropes, causing Desmond to slip, and he pulls him off of the top rope with his hands, and then he like, okay, it's hard to explain because okay, he pulls him over, hooks his arm, hooks his Desmond's arms underneath his legs, and then hits his like this is like a flip power driver bomb type of thing. Like, is it a power driver? Is it a power bomb? Is it like a driver? It's one of the two. Anyway, so he wins with that, and out comes Brian Cage, seeking revenge for what happened a couple of weeks ago. And then Congo Kong attacks Brian Cage, and it's said that this is what's going to happen next week. Cage versus Congo. And if Congo Kong wins, Brian Cage does not get his rematch at Slammiversary against Matt Sydal for the X Division Championship, which I'm torn on because for one, I thought we were going to get Congo Kong and Brian Cage at Slammiversary. On the other hand, hey, Brian Cage did lose via bullshit means, so I would think a smart management team would say, hey, we should give that guy another chance because he got fucking cheated. So Matt Sydal versus Cage at Slammiversary might happen, and from what these guys put on beforehand, that might be a very entertaining match, especially given enough time. So, okay, skipping the Callihan part. Oh, it's going to be, I don't know, is this for like a number 10 contendership or not or whatever. Rick Swann, Impact versus Ishimori. Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. Swann versus Impact versus Ishimori versus Phoenix in a 4-way. Austin Aries cut a promo, and it was just as good as any other Austin Aries promo where he talked about how Moose is going to fail at wrestling also. Then you had the main event where Madison Rayne once again defeated Tessa Blanchard, and Tessa Blanchard pretty much dominated most of the match. And then out came Su Yung and beat up Madison until Allie made the save. What more can I say here? Then that's pretty much it. Like I said, decent show. Character building, storylines evolving, building up to Slammiversary. Oh yeah, and the place where they take this, pretty good spot. A lot of energy in the crowd. They were cheering. Then that's pretty much it, man. So any comments, questions, comment section. My Twitter gonna be down there also, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.